Hello, hello. Josie here. Are you ready for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth? And are you sure? Okay, here we go. Where should we start? Where should we begin? How about this? You don't know everything about men. You don't know everything about men. I'm speaking to a lot of you females out there. I'm speaking to a lot of transgender women as well too, although I will say this. Transgender women know a lot more about men than a lot of females. See, females think they got the game on lock, and in a way they do, but one thing about transgender women, maybe not necessarily homosexual men, although I will say to a certain degree, homosexual men get this as well too. Transgender women, the majority, not all, but the majority, are being truthful about who they are, and they're living in their truth. And there are a lot of people that have a problem with it, but a lot of the same people that have a problem with it also respect that we are living in our truth, because they are not able to. Now, I said a lot of them respect, but there are still some that are hating, evil, wicked motherfuckers that are angry and or jealous or envious because we're living in our authenticity and we're living in our truth, and they do not feel comfortable doing so. So when they see us, you have some people that respect it, like it, admire that, so on and so forth, and you have other people that secretly respect it, like it, and admire us, but because they are not able to live in their authenticity and their truth, they hate. And that hate is taken as love. You can either take it as hate or you can see it as love. Let me just put it like that. Okay? I am not saying that those that admire us and respect us are interested physically or sexually or anything like that. But mentally, yeah. Because we have some knowledge and some understanding that they could learn from, and that also might heal whatever traumatic experiences that they have gone through in their life to make them more open to living in their truth. And living in your truth does not necessarily mean they're coming out of the closet, or they're interested in homosexual activity, or they're interested in a transgender woman. It just means that they're comfortable being them. I just heard the song by Erykah Badu, Clever. And there's a line that in there that goes, I'm all right with me. You have a lot of people that are not okay with themselves. They're not happy. And they're looking outside of themselves for happiness. And they're coming up empty. And a lot of them think that they are winning, but in fact, they're losing. And by the time they figure out they're losing, they're so deep in, it's hard to get out. I'm not going to make this video too long. Speak on a few points here and keep it pushing. I have had more conversations with men from all different backgrounds where there was not any sex involved but there was an exchange, and or there was an open mind, open ears, and no judgment from me. Which also males and or men appreciate, because they can't talk and share with a lot of individuals the truth and get honest feedback and clarity, because if they do share, they will be looked at in the wrong way, they'll be judged, and they'll be talked about, belittled, possibly ostracized by people that they have been wearing a mask around, and they can't handle that rejection. They can't handle that treatment. But who has handled that treatment? Who has handled that type of rejection? Who has been ostracized? Who has been belittled? Who has been disparaged? So, there you go. Just want to share that with you, because it's not necessarily that we're interested sexually in your man or any man, but they sense something. I just heard the song by Lionel Richie, Easy Like Sunday Morning. They sense someone that is easy like Sunday morning. That's the only way I can put it. And that is a relief. That is such a relief that, yeah, people would want to get close to that. People would want to have a conversation with that person. People would want to have an encounter with that person, possibly. People would want to befriend that person, possibly, as well, too. Because that is someone that could actually allow them to let their hair down, relax, and chill, and just put the mask away for a while. And I'm not talking about them turning into like a toxic, evil type of individual. No. I'm talking about them able to just relax and not be on. You know, I'm gonna say it like this because it's honest and it's real. For a lot of homosexual men, I'm not saying all homosexual men, but for a lot of them that are interested in like heterosexual, straight men, something of that nature, it's really just kind of in a way a challenge for them, you know? They want to say, oh, I sucked his dick, or I had sex with him, or whatever. It's just a way for them to get off. Not all of them, but it's a way for them to get off, you know? And they see the benefit of doing that. You know, it's a pleasure for them. It's a challenge for them. It doesn't necessarily have to be anything long term. But that's why you have a lot of these dating apps. And these guys go on these dating apps that may be heterosexual, and they'll engage with a homosexual because they just want their dick sucked. But there are consequences to that. There are dangers associated with that in many different ways. But hey, it's your choice, it's your decision. I knew of one that basically was that type of individual that enjoyed doing that, you know? don't even think he cared if they were homosexual or heterosexual, just as long as they had a dick. Ooh, hello. I like that. Jazzy. That was a motorcycle revving its engine. I'm gonna end it here shortly. But you know, I want you to think about it like this. Transgender women, me being a bigender woman, we deal with a lot of people's insecurities being thrown at us, and we're being forced to kind of take on their bullshit and their trauma and their attitude and their hatred and their evil. And I mean, a lot of us were really tired of it. We've experienced this for a lot of our lives, from our own families and friends, so-called friends, and co-workers, and we're just really sick and tired of it. We were just trying to live our lives, in peace, and we're trying to be, successful and happy and thrive. And a lot of us want to have families too. We would love to have a partner or be married. We're not all escorts. We're not all escorts, and we're not all sluts. We may enjoy sex, of course, just like the next person, but people like to stereotype us and put us in a group or a category as being promiscuous or whorish or sluttish or whatever, and we're not all like that. Some transgender individuals had to do that to survive. They had to do that to be able to get their surgeries and whatnot, and I'm not judging them. But if they had a choice, I do not believe that they would have gone that route. And speaking as someone that was basically, in a lot of ways, being subjected to going in that route by other individuals because the direction and path that I was going on, they had an issue with it or a problem because I was really good at what I did. I was better than them. And their mask dropped. And I noticed their mask dropping. And I saw the insecurities within them, and they looked at me and they wanted me to feel the same way that they felt. And I don't. I never did. I don't plan on feeling that way. Maybe years ago I did, yeah, sure. But I grew out of that. I learned from that. I made the necessary changes and corrections to better my life and the course. And I did not necessarily have anybody to have a conversation with that I could trust that was close to me. So I find it very interesting that the same ones that wanted me to feel insecure and wear a mask and all that stuff, right? How they look to me and they want to have a conversation with me now, or they wish they could have a conversation with me now, or they wish that they could be a friend, or that they could be a potential partner, But the way that they dropped their mask and showed me who they really were let me know that I wouldn't want to share that with them. I would not want to share that with them. I would not want to be that person that they really could talk to and feel safe talking to because of how they treated me. So imagine that person that negatively affected another individual because of their insecurities, and that's the same person that they now wish that they could befriend, that they wish that they would have treated differently, that they would not have seen as being a slut or a whore or even a threat, because I was not. But hey, It is what it is. Okay.